Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something kind of wild, the secret operating system that's running inside your head, making almost half of your daily decisions for you, often before you're even consciously aware of it.
So let me just start by asking you a question. Are you really in control of your decisions? Because if you think you're in the driver's seat for every choice you make, you might be in for a little surprise. A huge chunk of what you do every day isn't a conscious choice at all.
To get to the bottom of this, we need to meet the two competing systems that are basically battling for control inside your skull. Think of it like this. You've got a fast, impulsive autopilot and a slow, really careful pilot, and they're both trying to fly the plane.
So, on one side, you've got your inner chimp. That's the emotional brain. It's lightning fast, it goes with its gut, and it pretty much runs on autopilot. But it does have a boss, the executive, which is your intellectual brain. This one, it's thoughtful, it's logical, but man, it is a total gas guzzler. It takes a ton of energy to fire up.
The crazy thing about this emotional brain is just how ancient it is. I mean, we share this core programming with reptiles and other mammals. It's hardwired for the absolute basics of survival, the 4 Fs. It's a system built for pure speed, for reacting, not for sitting around and thinking things through.
Okay, so if this inner chimp is so primitive, why do we let it run the show so often? Well, the answer comes down to one single super important resource: energy.
You gotta understand, your brain is an absolute energy hog. It burns through about a quarter of all the energy your body uses every single day. So because of that, it's evolved to be this incredible eco-warrior, always looking for ways to save power.
And what's its #1 energy-saving trick? Simple. Shut down the big, power-hungry intellectual brain as much as possible. And how does it do that? By creating shortcuts, by automating stuff into habits that the low-energy emotional brain can handle, no problem.
And listen, this isn't some small thing we're talking about. A 2006 study from Duke University, it found that over 40% of the things we do every single day aren't conscious decisions at all. They're habits. Think about that. That's almost half your day just running on autopilot.
And you see this autopilot at work all the time. When you smack your alarm clock without even opening your eyes, or that weird moment when you're driving a familiar route and you suddenly realize you have zero memory of the last 5 miles. That's it. It's even what's behind the incredible split-second genius of a pro athlete. Their instincts are just so honed, they operate way faster than conscious thought ever could.
But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. This super efficient system, it's not perfect. Not by a long shot. It's actually riddled with hidden bugs and glitches, these predictable little errors in thinking that scientists call cognitive biases.
Okay, check this out. The illusion of superiority. In one study, a jaw-dropping 94% of college professors rated their own work as above average. Now, you don't have to be a math whiz to know that's statistically impossible, right? It just shows you how our emotional brain has this deep-seated need to see ourselves in a good light, even if it has to ignore reality to do it. And get this, our choices are shockingly easy to mess with. There's this famous experiment where a store played French music. And, surprise, surprise, French wine outsold German wine by a mile. But the moment they switched to German Oompa music, the sales figures totally flipped. And here's the craziest part. When they asked the shoppers, none of them had any idea that the soundtrack was guiding their hand. So why are we so vulnerable to this stuff? Well, it boils down to this weird partnership we have going on in our heads. First, there's the thinker. That's your conscious mind, the part that comes up with an idea or a belief. And then you have its loyal sidekick, the prover. And the prover has one job and one job only. As Dr. Leonard Orr's law puts it, whatever the thinker thinks, the prover proves. It's basically a confirmation machine. It will go out and find any shred of evidence to back up that first idea, and it will totally ignore anything that contradicts it, just to prove the thinker right. This is what leads to biases like the halo effect. Our brain takes just one positive thing, like, say, someone's good looking, and it automatically just fills in all the blanks. Oh, they must also be smart and funny and trustworthy. It builds this whole complete story from just one tiny and often totally irrelevant piece of information. So when you see all these glitches and biases, it's really easy to just point the finger at our emotional brain, right? To just label it as the bad guy responsible for all our irrational decisions. But
Is that what's really going on here?
I mean, for over 2,000 years, all the way back to Plato, we've basically framed this as a big fight between heroic logic and villainous emotion. But what the source material for this explainer suggests is that maybe, just maybe, we've been blaming the wrong thing this whole time.
The true villain isn't your emotional brain, it's stress.
Okay, here's how that works. When you're under stress for a long time, chronic stress, the connection between your logical brain and your emotional brain starts to get weak. It starts to fray. And eventually, this can trigger what's called an amygdala hijack. That's when the emotional brain just completely takes over, slams the door on logical thought, and throws you into pure, raw survival mode.
So this is the really crucial point. Your emotional brain isn't the bad guy. It's a brilliant, powerful, and incredibly efficient ally that's doing most of the heavy lifting for you every single day. It's not the problem. It's the chronic stress of our modern lives that makes this amazing system start to break down and malfunction.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of tricky question, right? If our gut instinct is this powerful, efficient system, but it's also so easily broken by stress, then how do we ever know when to actually trust it? That's something to chew on.